Hey there, Hofstra fans, and welcome inside the WBB Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com. Nick Valastro, and we're joined for the first time this season the head coach of the Hofstra Pride women's basketball team, Coach Krista Kilburn-Steveskey. Welcome.
Thanks, Nick.
Well, season is 3 days away, so really it's just, what's the excitement like at the beginning of part of this season?
Oh, just just gearing up, ready to get on the court. You have that nice blend of intense passion and good energy, a little bit of I'm sure nervousness, but just ready to tip it up. And the team had a great practice yesterday, and just a great start of the week to give us an opportunity to have our first home game.
12 of 13 players returning to the roster this season. So compared to last season, no seniors this season. Basically the same squad returning. How's that confidence for the team, knowing that it's basically that same core going to this season?
I mean, I think obviously gives them just great chemistry. They understand each other's tendencies. We have a ways to go, though. I think we're not in any position to, feel like that we're any you always worry as a coach about peaking and all these kind of things, and we have a lot to learn about the system, a lot to learn about us, and so I think that's a great place to be in. It's a great place to see the chemistry and how we play together, and it's a great place to see how much better we can be.
One of the strengths, or I at least think the strength of this team will be the guards. You have Falk, Luciano, Loftus, Falk as a senior. So what are you going to be seeing from the guards as this season, at least in the early part, as they try to carry this team?
Yeah, I mean, and the good thing is too that they have a lot of help too, so they know they can leave it on the court. So you have Darius, who I always keep saying is just continuing to improve. She's just been rising her level. You have Crystal, who is really becoming that coach on the floor and really giving us a lot of insight. And that duo in the backcourt has just been very good. And Kelly's been showing her versatility, and I've been saying that all year long. So I just think that you just have a good core there with people like Asia and Jaquel and Aliana and Liv coming off the bench. It's just like such a great place to be in. That on any given night we have different types of sparks. We have different kind of people that can give us a lift. And then you've got three pretty dynamic guards that are leading the way.
In the post, you have Angie White, Ashani Durant. Aloyda Faroka is gone, but if there's any question, it may be in that post, knowing that if one of those players is in foul trouble, then who's the next player to step up?
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got several people that are leading the way with that. I mean, we have different opportunities of playing different people in different positions. You have Sandra, who I think has been coming along very, very well. You have Sid Epps that's been filling the gaps in every aspect. So, you just have a lot of opportunities for different types of lineups, and I think that's what gives it a little bit of excitement. So, I think that hasn't been as much of an issue. Right now it's just been, getting the right people in the right spots and, finding what we do best.
And there's some rule changes made for the season coming up. 4 10-minute quarters, also advancing the ball with under a minute left after a timeout. So. Yeah. How is this going to be adjusting to a new set of rules? I know it affects more of the players as much, but coaching-wise, there's a certain effect to it.
Well, we had to have a little moment in one of our scrimmages of saying, hey, this is where we are. We can't change it, so we've got we really got to deal with it. The thing that I'm most curious about is the flow. Not being choppy from quarter to quarter, just like the flow of players. So. One thing, you have stoppage of play, then you've got 2 minutes and 45 seconds in between quarters. So it'll be interesting. It is what it is. Nothing we can do about it. More concerned about how they're going to call the game, because in one hand you have, severe touch fouls. You have one hand, you're not calling that. So there's just been so many changes. I do, you do feel for the players. You do feel for them. What happened in my career, the minute I got to NC State, they switched from the big ball to the small ball. So, there's always things, the game's changing. One thing you just always want to add, high school ball is high school ball. Let's keep college. FIBA, WNBA is WNBA. I think for some reason they're trying to morph all this together, and, there's certain people trying to lead this charge, and, what is wrong with each entity being what each entity is about. So, that it's just, it's bizarre, but it is what it is, and we're going to do the best, and it's not going to be any type of excuse. We're all in the same boat here together, and all the teams are having to make this change, so it's going to be fun figuring it out.
Let's look at the non-conference schedule before we look at the Navy game on Friday to kick off the season. A lot of tough games to get you ready for the CAA. You also have American, Oregon State down in Puerto Rico, Buffalo. So how is this non-conference going to test your team to get ready for the meat and potatoes of the schedule?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of tests kind of, coming into from last season. and then, some are preparing, but you just talk about a very physical, and mental type test with teams that are Patriot League champions, teams that have been in the NCAA, teams that, were playing in the semifinals of their conference as of Navy last year. So, there is definitely not a weak drop, and then there's a huge jump, with teams like Oregon State. So, that's what you're hoping. You're hoping that, we become battle tested, we win these games, we take care of business, become battle tested, and, be able to, do what we need to do come conference.
And then this Friday at 5 p.m. will be the Navy Midshipmen that kick off the season. So a team that is one of the top defensive teams at least last
Right.
season. So what are you expecting a team that really doesn't allow that many points, just over 54 points?
Right, and we kind of had that test last year when we came into our first home opener. We knew people are going to be very physical. It's going to be early in the year. Everyone, even the officials, everybody's going to be new. And we got to be able to handle the runs and handle the hits, and and that's just that's kind of what we've been preaching. Being able to get off on a great start, control what we can control. There's nothing we can do about things that obviously we can't control, but they're excited, and they have a lot of a right to be excited. And this is a very good group. I talk about it all the time. It's fun to coach, and we're ready to come out and prove, and that's what it's going to be. Every night we have to prove, we have to be ready, and we certainly can't take anything lightly. And I think that this crew knows that. So yeah. I mean, we made it a tough slate to get us ready, and now we got our first test on Friday night, 5 o'clock.
What do you think is going to be the biggest key in getting that victory to start off the season on a good note?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of defensive keys with us. Obviously, kind of tightening that belt is what we've been talking about a lot. Just really, knowing who their scorers are, finding them in transition early. They kind of found themselves last year after having such a stellar, year with the years before with the group that they had. So you can tell, throughout last year they were, really finding people, and people started to step up, and they found nice consistency. Then they have 10 returning players. So I think for us it's just really tightening that belt on the defensive end, and really communicating very well with each other, and then just not losing our way on execution. I think when it's not 85 and sunny, that's when you're trying to find out what your team is made of. So on the tougher times of the offense, stick with your execution, stick with your discipline, and because that's what they're going to bring. That mindset, they're going to have a disciplined mindset. Their training is far different than what, our kids' trainings are here, and so we've obviously been preaching that. So, we just have to, survive, the runs and punch them when we need to, and not literally, but, and take the hits. So, it's exciting. I mean, this is the time that we just, we're geared up for, we're ready to go, ready to tip it up.
She's the head coach of the Hofstra Pride Women's basketball team, Krista Kilburn-Steveskey. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We've been watching the WB Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com.